Are we here?
Are we here?
Are we here? Are you here?
It's very easy. 15 rooms is an exhibition, a temporary exhibition in a museum with 15 rooms, 15 sculptures. All sculptures are living sculptures, human beings. And at 7 p.m. all the sculptures go home.
We do it only once a year, and every year there is an additional room. So in 2011 it was 11 rooms. Now we're in 2015, it's 15 rooms.
When you're in a house, you open a door, you go over a threshold, you enter a private sphere. Just imagine you're in an elevator. You get into the elevator on the 40th floor and you're alone, you're going down. But on the 27th floor, the doors open and a naked person comes in. The doors close and you have to spend 27 floors going down with that naked person. Or a colleague of yours says, come to my office but close the door behind you.
The rooms have basically a very, precise definition. It's a floor area of 5 by 5 meters. It's a height of 3.5 meters. We invited the architects Herzog de Meuron to develop a series of rooms, and they've come up with this wonderful idea of actually mirroring the entire, display so that it becomes somehow mirrored into infinity. And that very much reflects our idea that the exhibition actually will grow over time.
I remember in 2000, I did my first retrospective of an artist who works with performances. It was Santiago Sierra. And the great Marina, she looked at me, she said, God, a new generation, they do not do the performances themselves. They actually outsource them. They employ a person. Marina is one of the patron saints of this exhibition. In the mid-70s, she did a very important piece called Art Must Be Beautiful, Artist Must Be Beautiful, where she has a brush and she's brushing herself and she says, art must be beautiful, artist must be beautiful. And she goes on and she brushes more and more intensely until her skull is literally aggravated and bleeding. She gets the own blood out of her body by something that normally is used as an act of kindness, an act of self-care. And then many performance pieces actually deal with the mirror. We have Joan Jonas' historical piece from the 70s, where she, as a young woman, checks herself in a mirror. And that's kind of the inventing of a selfie. You do a selfie now with a camera and you have a picture, but she does the same movement with a little hand mirror.
Then we have, for example, with Otobong Nkanga, it's not only about the human interaction, it's not only about the human beings in the room, but it's also about the plants. And the plants are as much as life. They're also, in this sense, live art, because plants live. With a piece like Bruce Naumann's 28 Positions, you basically look at the work, and of course the work looks at you. That happens with all the pieces, But however, with Aloha Calzadilla, it goes one level further. You become a dancer in a way. You're not just a viewer. You start to move, and then at instances it can actually become quite threatening because all of a sudden the movement shifts unexpectedly, and you all of a sudden have actually to move in a different direction because otherwise you go into collision, with the piece. We obviously felt, both Klaus and I, how important it is to take local artists on board. And we invited 5 out of 15 artists, to join the project.
We had invited Zhao Fei to be one of the artists early on. She became a mother, which is wonderful, and she came up with a beautiful piece that is dealing with the playfulness of youth and growing up and being a girl and being a woman and being in the rhythm of life. And then we also looked at the Chinese artists of the late 1980s and 1990s. And then, for example, the last artist that we have in 15 rooms, it's 2 men dancing with a dotted costume. So the dance, which is normally a fun, cheerful, short-lived activity, becomes an exhausting, exciting activity that you have to do for 6-7 hours until you drop. So it becomes a very different research in the human condition, that you do something just fun, but you do it that long that you nearly think you're gonna die. So the idea of challenge, overstepping a nearly too intimate relationship that you cannot escape but being engaged with, I think that is 15 Rooms. It's about you as a viewer, as a visitor, being as much a body as a performer's body, as a sculpture, having the same time frame, aging, dying, suffering, understanding pain or embarrassment. So it's very much about the human condition. It's very much about you being a viewer, being in the exhibition.